happen. Seriously?
It's...
Oh my god, I didn't hear the beep. It usually does a beep. Jesus Christ, there's usually a beep. Where's the beep, BlueDragonFive? Where's the beep? Greetings, true believers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And tonight, we're here to comb through a box of files we liberated from a fallen shield base. An event we're tackling in 10 thrilling installments. So join us as we dust off these SSR files on the shield agent before there is even a shield, and begin assessing Agent Carter. Now let's start with an audio tape.
And now it's time for the Agent Carter Adventure Program, brought to you by Roxxon Motor Oil. Tonight's adventure revolves around a heist. Not just any heist. The heist of 2 atomic bombs. It's up to our heroes to use their wits and skill sets to beat the even more empowered Whitney Frost to the uranium rods in question before Los Angeles goes up in a mushroom cloud, or she has more zero matter than you can shake a stick at. Can our diverse crack team pull off the caper? Before Whitney Frost becomes unstoppable? Stay tuned and find out.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is why when you start a Google Hangout, you actually have it on the window that you're in, so you know when it goes on air. I am very sorry about that. All right, BlueDragonFive. So Deadpool, obviously, he keeps coming up in conversation. It's taken up a majority of our time last week. So we're playing.
Well, I'm actually seeing it tomorrow again.
How many times is this? 3 or 4?
3.
3. You say that like you're ashamed, like you've only seen it 3 times. I wanted to see it again.
Soon it's going to be 4, but, you know.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So, obviously, with Deadpool, you know, this episode came out more than a week ago, but we're catching up, folks. So, better late than never, except BlueDragonFive. I haven't had the chance to watch this week's doubleheader of the episodes yet. Please tell me they're better than this one.
They are.
Good, because, this one was kind of tough to get through, in my opinion. This was probably my least favorite episode of the whole series.
You know what? Potentially, but I don't necessarily think that means it's a bad episode. Just, you know, not as catching as the other ones.
It's kind of ironic, too, because we're coming off of an episode 4, which I thought was probably among the best episodes of the series, especially the way they kind of did the, the compare and contrast between Peggy and Frost's backstory.
Yeah.
This just felt like it was just plodding along and just kind of, okay, we need to fill time.
Yeah, again, it's just this one is, it's not filler because it's giving us plot stuff, but you know, it's just kind of there getting us from point A to point B. It's not bad, but it's not as awesome as the other ones. You know,
right.
That's what it boils
I'll
down.
argue the one thing that I really did enjoy about this episode was that they gave Rose something really cool to do.
Yeah, I mean, there were still some good elements that were here.
Sure. We'll get into it. I think the Sousa love triangle thing is not as well written as they were kind of promising. I think that was. We'll get into it.
I think you'll see some interesting stuff in the next 2.
That's good, because I thought the conflict at the end of the episode this time around was really fucking forced.
Just give it some time. I think they're approaching.
Oh no, you're paying attention to this woman who's literally mortally injured, and now I'm gonna get jealous.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that.
All right, so let's jump in.
All right, so we start the episode. Wilkes spookily awakens Peggy Carter from her sleep, and she almost shoots Howard Stark's portrait.
Not a good idea to wake Peggy Carter up. Not a good idea.
Yes, thank God it was a ghost that woke her up. So, I mean, worst case scenario, you just have a dented, well-painted portrait of Howard Stark.
Right.
Anyway, so Wilkes wakes her so they can go to the lab because they have something to show her. So Wilkes, the way it shows her is that he can apparently attract a sample of the zero matter from Jane Scott's tissue that Sousa swiped last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's just like kind of attracting it inside the jar, it's like so powerfully drawn to him, it gets absorbed right. It fades through the glass and absorbs right into him, and for a moment, because it's a very small sample, bear in mind, he becomes solid momentarily. And also, But importantly, his eyes go very dark for a second, and that he's kind of overcome by power, and he also gets like a wealth of information about what's going on with the Zero Matter.
Yeah, which I just thought was kind of bullshit.
No, well, to be fair, it's the idea is like a psychic link with the Zero Matter, so he kind of knows.
Look, I understand what the idea is. I'm just saying it's a Deus Ex Machina.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. You know, it's a the Zero Matter is this thing. It's kind of Whitney Frost has absorbed so much of it by now, and she keeps creating more, and she's more people she.
But at any point, did we get like? I understand that it's powerful, but at any point, do we get indication that it literally will be like, oh, okay, here I'm just going to give you this random knowledge?
Well, no, this is
very random.
Well, no, this is the next step of her plan, though, to get more. So he knows what she's planning. He doesn't know exactly this is coming from her, but he kind of knows, I know where Jane Scott's body is. So, to be fair, what actually could be, this is all pseudoscience speculation, bear in mind. That's just saying that's kind of maybe what the one I just mentioned is coincidence, but one that we could speculate on just now is kind of that Jane Scott's tissue sample, that Zero Matter was attached to the tissue sample, and then it got absorbed in him, and then he knows where her body is.
Oh, okay. You see, there you go. That actually makes it a lot more tangible now.
Yes, all right. I forgot about that detail, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense now. Seriously, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually, I didn't even think about the fact that it was her sample. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Because we're going to find out that, gotta remember, her body, the dead body, is still coursing with Zero Matter, which is kind of ripe for the taking. And now it's just kind of saying where the rest of it's located, where this little sample came from. Okay, makes sense.
So Peggy asks Jarvis if Stark has a hearse. Oh, no, but we do have a Woody.
Now, Woody, for those with the immature in the audience, that's a wood, basically it's a fancy wood paneled car. That's essentially what it is.
Honestly, whenever I think of a Woody, I think of A, Woody from Toy Story, of course.
Certainly.
And B, Woody is actually kind of a slang term for wooden roller coasters in the roller coaster community, so I think of that.
And the third, hopefully, would be Woody Woodpecker, but I think we know.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Oh, I know Woody Woodpecker mostly from that horrible Universal Studios game. I don't know if you have any memory of that.
No, I just remember the ride, though. I like the ride.
Yeah, anyways.
Okay, so Violet...
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Peggy's like, oh, Mr. Jarvis, we have to steal a body. And Jarvis is like, oh! I'm sorry, I can't pass over some Jarvis hilarity.
Oh, my God. James Darcy's such a blessing. Meanwhile, just so you know, he keeps getting better and better each episode.
That's good to hear.
So, let's see. So, they determined that Jane Scott's body could lead to a cure for Wilkes, and I'm sorry, I was treading over old territory with the Hearst thing. Sorry. Then, as I was saying, so Violet is surprised by a sleeping Sousa on her couch.
Mm-hmm.
Sousa, apparently, he's getting ready for the big proposal. He's cooked dinner and everything. The surprise, her body's lost the ring in the couch. When will things work out for Daniel Sousa? Wah, wah. But as he's searching and during looking at a romantic comedy, he's looking there, he can't find it. But then Violet comes by and they have a genuinely sweet moment.
It is.
To me, is a really sweet proposal. Essentially, he mentions that.
I mean, I'm glad. It kind of got ruined when she got all hot and bothered and jealous over Peggy, but.
Well, to be fair, we'll get to it. I think she raises a few valid points, but you're right, it was handled kind of messily, though. You're all right about that.
Especially, I mean, it would have been different if Peggy was not literally hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, that's basically, I think, points, well, we'll get to it. Let's save it.
We'll get to it, yeah.
Anyway, so Violet, again, she's surprised by Susan, anyway, as they're having this really sweet moment where basically he proposes. Kind of like, it's a lovely sad sack proposal. It is.
It is.
He's just saying, well, look, I had this ring and I lost it in the couch.
I mean, he's at first he's like trying to even kind of hide what he's looking for. He's like, oh, you'll know it when you see it. Trust me.
So I still love Sousa as a character. I always do. I think this guy's great.
I think Sousa and Jarvis and Peggy are kind of like the big three that always hold up and are always consistent.
Oh, of course.
So,
anyway, so then as he mentions proposal, and her eyes go wide for a second, and she keeps looking for the ring. Oh, we get to find it. And so, wait, so yes, and then she realizes, oh, I didn't say yes. Yeah. And then this gag I thought was really cute. Then she finds a quarter on the couch. Well, did you find it? No, a quarter.
Ooh, we can make some money here.
Yeah.
Because you know why, Blue Dragon 5?
Why?
Because we've got to have money.
Oh,
Sorry, nostalgia critic meme. I couldn't help it.
Anyway. Okay, so from one happy romance, we have a not so happy romance going on. Chadwick is very nervous about. Now, here's a choice I wasn't crazy about right from the get go. This episode, I wasn't crazy that we kind of glazed over the big reveal last episode.
Yeah, they did. Kind of like it's kind of funny. Blue Dragon 5. It's like kind of a running trend of shows glazing over big cliffhangers, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying this is in the same week of that, so it's like yeah. Still very strange that there was such a big reveal. You think they would kind of focus on like Chadwick's reaction to that, but I mean,
it's like he's in bed. You know what I'm going to compare it to? I mean, this is like a really this is not the same scale as it at all, but episode 8. I mean, just a spoiler alert for people who haven't seen 7. I guess like if there's people out there that haven't seen 7, but episode 8 is not going to start off with Luke on that rock. At least it wouldn't if it's following the same traditional format of the Star Wars films where it's several years or at least several month gap in between them. So unless they really break formula with Star Wars, episode 8 is not going to continue that direct cliffhanger that we had with Rey and Luke. I'm saying there is a merit to storytelling of having a cliffhanger and then kind of like having an aftermath to it sometime later.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm still with him at this point, though. Like, okay, well, we didn't see the direct aftermath, but we get a sense it's really bugging him. So, I mean, they're kind of communicating with show, don't tell, I guess.
For sure. So,
I'm sorry,
that was a really complicated analogy.
Yes. So, let's see. Trying to think where we were. Right? So, the point is, Chadwick's very nervous about Frost, as you would be. And it's kind of funny, though, even just kind of starting it at this point. Because, again, there's some merit to doing it like this.
Mm-hmm.
But then he looks like he's either about to leave the house to get somewhere safe or something. Basically, she startles him in the dead of night. Because I need something. Basically, it's her kind of the zero matter potentially kind of urging her to more of it. I'm guessing. Give me one. Let's see. So I'm trying to think. Oh, Jarvis. Okay, so now they're at the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
At the morgue, and Jarvis is giving Peg a boost, which is such a funny image to me, by the way. I think it says so much about their friendship. Like, they're on the adventures together. It feels like so classic kind of 40s, and I love it.
For sure.
Just lifting her into the vent. And again, it's old school spy stuff, which is really cool. Old school caper stuff. Just lifting her into the vent, and this is, are you coming up? Well, you wore your recreational tie, didn't you? He's crawling in there, and as they crawl through the vents, Jarvis has terrible apricot reserve memories from Granny Jarvis's house.
Oh, my granny's house in the cellar.
Apricot reserves in Granny Jarvis's house, and that's where he got his fear of spiders from.
Spiders! A giant legion of spiders! Oh, dear God.
Apparently John Peter's greatest fear also.
Right.
So they spy Frost and Chadwick, like they're right above the room with Jane Scott's body in there, but Frost and Chadwick have beat him, or at least simultaneously met them to the punch. And they open up the thing, and basically they find the body there, and Whitney Frost absorbs the zero matter. So again, I assume the zero matter is kind of like helping her plot along what she knows what she wants to do with this stuff, and basically it's kind of helping her along.
It's still a little wonky, but I mean, I'll just kind of roll with it.
Yes, I mean, again, there is some. I think there is definitely a logic to it. There. I mean, the main logic here is forget what I'm just saying. I'm thinking broad spectrum. I'm saying instant spectrum. What we should be focusing on here is that she wants more of it, and it's just calling a large quantity is calling to her.
And that large quantity is she needs an atomic bomb.
Well, no. I mean, the body, Jane Scott's body, be the closest large quantity. She has to make more of it with the atomic bomb.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought, well, regardless, she touches the body, the zero matter goes into her, and she needs an atomic bomb. Ooh. Yeah. Big reveal.
Yes, she needs an atomic bomb, which is very scary. And also, this is Peg observing firsthand what she's doing with the zero matter, and oh boy, it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, again, if you have a villain that says, I need an atomic bomb, that's scary. That's a bit of villain you want to...
They had an atomic bomb plot line in season 5 of Lost, and honestly, that's the only thing I can think of. Anyways.
And in a way, I mean, just kind of looking at Whitney Frost's character for a moment, I love that, it's like this zero matter is giving her power to realize that, that little Agnes's dreams. It's helping make them a reality. And what's interesting about that is that using the zero matter to get her to let her realize her her girlhood dreams of making a difference in the world. Basically, she's becoming Peggy Carter through darker means, which is very interesting.
Yeah, of course, especially because we already had that flashback that, like I said, it was a great kind of contrast of the two.
Yeah, see what I'm saying, though? It's like, again, her deep down desires to essentially become Peggy Carter, and to do that, she has to use a zero matter. So it's like, there was like using atomic bomb, she's going to become Peggy Carter when you think of that at broad spectrum. But yeah, so they've done such a great job building up how legitimate a threat Whitney Frost is. Wouldn't you agree?
God, I don't yeah, I honestly do think she's probably a more well-rounded villain than Dottie Underwood was in the first season.
I don't know, Dottie Underwood. Let's just say Dottie Underwood's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely promo material with her, but I'm just saying in terms of character development, I think already in the 5 episodes we've seen of Frost, at least I've seen, I know you're a little further than that, but I keep going back to episode 4 of BlueDragonFive. Episode 4 was really, really strong in that regard. It was. Of giving us just a really strong Portia. I mean, that was one of the best episodes of the series. Anyways.
Okay, so meanwhile, after that, Wilkes back at lab. Wilkes determines that Frost's plan is to create more zero matter by creating the events from the test footage. The test footage we got episodes back of basically a big atomic test creates.
And if they're lucky, they don't make Godzilla in the process.
And specifically, the isodyne
brand. It's gonna send us back to the Stone Age! I'm sorry.
Essentially, the isodyne brand atomic bombs are the things that cause the zero matter to appear in the first place. So like any scientist, she's trying to recreate the conditions to create more zero matter, which would give her more power, make her unstoppable. So it makes, again, I think there's some good logic there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So again, specifically basically through this conversation, they're determining, okay, it's specifically isodyne manufactured bombs by Roxxon, which is important.
Roxxon motor oil.
A brand you can trust.
And they have manufacturing atomic bombs. So yeah.
So they have various storage facilities. It's pointed out within the conversation, and Jarvis shares that through Howard Stark's through a little Howard Stark corporate espionage.
Oh dear.
He has an idea of which storage facility it is. It would be the most impenetrable location of the one. That's the one they should be looking at.
I like how it's set up where they're like, oh, there's no way to know which facility is housing the bombs, and Jarvis is like, well, that's not entirely accurate.
Yep. Always just trying to cover up some additional corporate espionage.
Right. Like at this point, Jarvis has become so in deep in between Howard and Peggy that he's just all in.
Yep. Anyway, he points out that they need a specific key for the elevator. It's a one-of-a-kind key, can't be replicated, none of that. They need that one particular key to get into that facility. Get in that elevator, which will get them down to the bomb area.
Well, we don't need a key, Mr. Jarvis. We can just blow the hinges off.
That'll kill. Basically, as a runner, that will kill us all.
This is like a fucking Abbott and Costello routine.
And you know how much I appreciated that.
Of course.
Well, we could drill a hole, and then we'll be electrocuted, and then we'll kill us all.
It would kill us all, Miss Costello.
Well, we could dig a hole, and basically this security measure happens, and then she's on board now. It will kill us all.
Oh God. Okay.
So basically, all the measures in place would kill us all.
Kill us all, yes.
Okay, let's see. So as they're still figuring their way through things, Chadwick, meanwhile, we cut back to Whitney Frost.
Mm-hmm.
Chadwick doesn't want to steal the bombs for obvious reasons, because he wants to steal an atomic bomb.
Well, Bane does in 2 movies.
He didn't want to. He used bombs. He didn't steal bombs.
I love how you got so defensive. Anyways, I'm sorry. Anyway. I'm in a very nostalgia critic reference-y kind of mood, apparently.
Okay, so Chadwick doesn't want to steal the bombs. Frost points out the more zero matter you have, that means the council will answer to us. Specifically, she says us. So at this point, I think she's still, on some level, still protecting Chadwick's best interest here.
I think so, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, she's still she's become more power hungry and more kind of aware to the fact that I should be running the show, because I'm actually the qualified smart one in the group here.
Mm-hmm.
But and then as Chadwick's saying, well, look, Whitney's is all insane.
People thought Galileo was insane.
Of course, And there's that great bit too, that setup line, like the most in a marriage, like the most setup line you've ever heard. Look at me. Do I look insane?
Oh
She's all
God!
scarred.
Right.
She's all scarred up.
We look awesome.
Oh God. And she's pointing out, like, imagine we had the power to bend the world to our will. No war, no fear, and you get the respect you deserve. And again, when she says that, though, again, the respect you deserve, it makes me think, again, the way the actors have been selling on the interviews, I got to tell you, I do see what she's saying here. There is until eventually eventually things are going to have to break down between these two. You get a sense of that.
I'm waiting for him to die, honestly.
I know that's what you're waiting for. You just waiting
right.
to know when something bad's going to happen to befall this guy.
It's kind of like Chekhov's gun at this point.
But again, it's like you still get to see kind of this relationship going of like, he still owes a lot of respect and admiration for this woman's abilities, but he's really terrified. He can't keep up with her skill set or her attitude, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let's see. So you ask how, and she mentions, well, we can use one of my connections.
Ooh.
Which is ominous, and I called something this episode. I was happy about it. Okay, let's see. So then, meanwhile, Sousa is in the middle of his engagement party with Pie.
Of course, because everyone loves Punch and Pie, right?
Punch and Pie?
South Park reference. Nobody's gonna come to our parties. Let's say a Punch and Pie.
Oh, God. Anyway. Peggy gives a kind of a reluctant congratulations to Sousa. She's happy for him, but, a little sad.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they address kind of the vacation days. Peggy's still using that as a cover story. Well, don't you worry, they're going to run on vacation. I've said I haven't taken a day off since Pearl Harbor. I
got to admit, I miss Thompson. I want Thompson to be a regular.
You'll get Thompson back. Don't worry.
That's good. He's
in the next two. Don't worry. You get plenty.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I do very much like his dynamic with Masters.
He's working into the plot. Don't worry. He's firmly in the plot. These next two. Don't worry. Okay, let's see. So Peggy needs a disguise. That's why she's at the SSR here. She needs a disguise to get into Hugh Jones's office because Hugh Jones has seen her before, and because of that, Sousa warns her. Well, he'll remember you, Peggy. Believe me, he'll remember you.
Oh dear. Oh, I got to admit there is some wonky science shit in this episode, but what this leads to is just great. Anyways.
So he suggests the gadgets. He just suggests a toy from the lab. Okay, let's see. So also he grabs a piece of pie from a guy who's walking by. We're going to need this to grease the wheel. And the wheel being Dr. Samberly coming back. So I love this. They give him pie, and I love that Peg Carr is playing good cop, and Sousa's playing again, not bad cop, but reluctant cop. Yeah, we actually need you to help us out here. Basically, wait, you brought me pie. I love that Samberly really knows a greasy. He just needs to feel included. You want to be nice to Samberly, that's all it takes. I love that. It's just
there's no catch, Dr. Samberly. It's just pie.
I just love that. It's just pleasantries, Tiki.
Pleasantries.
Says, what's the catch? No catch, just pie. And then, of course, the beat goes by. Well, we also need to borrow the thing. And Samberly, I knew it. There was a catch. Poor Samberly. I felt bad. There's a bit in here where there was only one bit. I'm not crazy about Samberly, but I did feel bad for him. Anyway, so the memory inhibitor, that's what this is specifically. It erases the last 2 minutes of your memory.
Yes.
And he tested it on Jerry, the lab tech.
No, this is the guy I felt really bad for.
Yeah, so apparently he's tested this device on poor Jerry several times, and he says, no, that's no effect on him. Yeah, what are you talking about? I'm fine. He walks into a wall, and the other guys, another lab tech, helps him out, helps him to redirect himself. There's a slight risk of brain damage. So
dear.
Let's see. So we're at Roxanne next.
And I must admit, this is probably my favorite scene in the whole episode.
This is a great scene. Let me praise this guy for a moment here. Let me praise the great and talented Ray Wise coming back as Hugh Jones. You remember
Of course.
Now, many people, again, oddly enough, we have two RoboCop bad guys in this season. We have, of course, Kurtwood Smith, who was Kurt Boddicker in RoboCop, the man that, blew off Alex Murphy's limbs. He's in there, of course, as Vernon Masters, and we have Hugh Jones played by Ray Wise, who was the pretty boy, the RoboCop villain.
And I still need to see RoboCop.
You haven't seen the original RoboCop?
No, I haven't. I thought you already knew this.
Well, I knew you didn't see the new one.
But no, I haven't seen the original
Well, that's saddening, but moving on.
one.
So we're at Roxxon. This scene is really funny. So we have Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones' rather buxom secretary goes to lunch, and beautiful girl, but we can't.
But Jim, it's lunch.
I know, Harvey, and the lunch is that way. Let's go. Anyway, so again, we could spend time with the buxom secretary, but we're not. Peggy enters in disguise, and again, lovely. Anytime she's in disguise, it's always I love it when she's in disguise using gadgets. This is like firing all cylinders for me. I like this sequence.
She's in disguise, using a gadget, and using a fake voice.
Yes, all three, all
it's
three.
It's like the whole new trinity.
Yes, and she's searching for the key. She's searching for that specific key so we can get to that Roxxon facility. And then Hugh Jones, as she's on a ladder, looking around, she's, "Oh, I never forget a face."
Oh, hi, Mr. Hugh. I mean, Mr. Jones.
Oh, God. Oh, Haley Atwell's so fantastic. Let's see. So, the idea Hugh Jones keeps firing all these poor secretaries in the late 40s with all these bad pickup lines. It's just you did a lot of womanizing in the workplace. Anyway, it's just I must say, I have such a crush on you.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Hugh Jones offers
talent, which kind of reminded me of the Frost thing at the end of last episode.
Yes. Anyway, so he basically offers. I said, well, we'll get back and we'll crunch some numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He basically will not invite to crunch some numbers out. What a womanizer. As he leaves, and then Peggy has this really fake smile on her face, and the minute he leaves, arrogant plonker.
Oh, I thought she said wanker.
No, it's plonker. It's plonker.
Okay.
Plonker. It's a arrogant plonker.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use wanker for everything, Tiki.
I know.
So let's see. So then this bit, the timing on this bit was my favorite.
Oh, it's perfect.
I love this runner. So Hugh Jones, for the first time, he's going to the elevator. All's going well. The time and the music, everything's working just so great in this sequence. He gets in the elevator before it closes, an instantly. So he put his hand out and says, "Agent." Now, what's so clever is that in the recap for this episode, they played the clip where it says, "And what's your name, dear?" It says Agent. So that's what.
That's great.
So they called that back really smartly. The fact that that's how we
Agent.
No, I never thought. Yeah, that is a reference. Yeah, that is a reference to the event. So as Hugh Jones remembers, he walks in the office and says, "I'm going to call the SSR illegal search and seizure privilege," but he turns around and he is zapped by the memory inhibitor, so he's out for 2 minutes. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's out for 2 minutes, and then he reboots. He instantly reboots. And
I think he instantly reboots.
Later on, he gets now. The point is, he instantly reboots.
Just stay close. I think your work will need some special attention when I get back.
Well, it's such a funny sequence of such a funny repetition going on here. Is that his mind's erased. He walks in and says a little funny pickup line. He leaves the room. 2 minutes later, Agent. He runs back. He's just getting zapped in different locations, a surprise zap. Pretty much, just continual Agent zap, Agent zap. And then eventually gets knocked out from all this. And then she sees the "Key to Success" poster, which I thought was pretty funny. "Key to Success is in you" poster. And there's this great bit that goes by, "Oh, crumbs." I love the British sayings on Peggy Carr. "Oh, crumbs." Mm-hmm. She's searching him, and then she has hesitancy when she gets to the trousers. Thankfully,
you are saving the world. You are saving the world. You are saving the world.
Thankfully, she finds the key in the belt, which is a cool hiding space.
Thank God it's in the belt.
Thank God. Okay, anyway, then the secretary returns. This funny punctuation to this lovely sequence. Secretary returns, our buxom secretary, she returns, says, "Did you have a good lunch?" And you just see he wigs his shirt's out and everything. He's just like, "I must have."
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Okay, so then we have something I called and I was happy about. Next sequence here, Joseph Manfredi, specifically this man is in league, if not one of the leads. I'll get into the specifics of this. He's our Magia connection. Mm-hmm. So many people actually, the pronunciation on this thing, I'm finding out some people pronounce it differently. I say Magia because it's kind of a pun on mafia, because essentially they're a technological mafia in the Marvel universe. Some people say magia, get to the magi sort of thing. I say Magia, so get used to it, folks. So, Point is, our Maji connections are through here because in the comics, and again, I'm not sure how on the money they're going to do this. In the original comics, he's the son of Silvermane. Silvermane being one of the lead lieutenants of the Maji who runs across Spider-Man a lot of times.
Okay.
Point is, a big Magia figurehead, he's the son of that guy. So here they might kind of reverse it, so he's the original perhaps, or maybe the Silvermane might show up in another season of Agent Carter, hopefully. We'll see. Regardless, these guys are Mafia connections to the Marvel Universe, which definitely could come back in modern-day Marvel in the future. It's a long lineage of the kind of technological Mafia that Tony Stark would come up against.
Sounds like something that would be in the Netflix stuff.
Oh, yeah, yes, exactly. I don't know if we speculate on it during some of the Daredevil stuff about the Magia, but
we could have.
But regardless, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. This could definitely show up in Luke Cage or something, this Magia stuff. So that's what I'm really psyched out my mind for. So
speaking of the Netflix stuff really quick, I'm sorry, but have you seen that fucking clip of him chained to the building?
Of a Daredevil?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw all of it in the trailer. That's all I've seen because I don't want to spoil my favorite moment from that book.
Well, okay, well, there's a poster and everything. Yeah.
Okay, I'll check out it's a poster then?
It's a poster, and then there's also like a clip, and it's just him like chained up to the side of a building.
Okay, well, I'll check that out.
It looks super cool.
It's one of my favorite moments from the Punisher meeting Daredevil. We'll get there.
Well, I'm sorry to spoil it for you. I didn't know it was from the comics.
No, it's fine. I mean, I knew it was coming. They had the image and they had the thing in the trailer, so we kind of knew.
Okay.
Regardless, it's a very iconic image. So. I'm sorry, moving on. So again, Magia. So again, he's our Joseph Manfredi here, kind of our big mob guy. He's an old friend of Whitney Frost. He's very intimidating. He looks down on Chadwick instantly. And again, I love the way this actor plays this guy, by the way, because in the comics he has a really ridiculous costume and gimmick, but I love the way he plays him straight. Basically, it's really embarrassing. His name's so ridiculous. Honestly, I forgot his costume name, but his gimmick was he controlled bats.
He controlled bats.
He basically wears kind of a lame Batman costume when he controls bats. It's an embarrassment. It is. Now look, I'm not saying that in the context of the old days.
What era of Marvel was this?
Well, no, it was like '60s Marvel. It's still
okay. So it was like the ridiculous Stan Lee Steve.
Now look up.
Like atomic science age.
Well, I'm saying it's between transitional periods, '60s to '70s probably. But regardless, I mean, in the context, it probably worked in the comics. I'm just saying out of context because I didn't really know anything about this guy. I just knew Magia. But I think they're playing him a lot better than they would have otherwise. Because basically,
I think so.
Because his abilities were super strength and it was like he was strong, ill-tempered, which is communicated lovely here. So I mean, they got that right, and again, the bad thing, I think they're safe to leave that out. So, he's an old friend of Whitney Frost, and he does not care for Chad. He doesn't like hate him or anything. He's like, oh, this guy, I can intimidate this guy. This guy's a marshmallow.
Sure.
So basically, kind of our tough mobs are kind of a Sonny Corleone type, which is really neat.
Yeah, I'm liking him.
And he's well aware. So this guy, I love that he's like the smart mobster. He's well aware of the council connection, so he knows this guy's going to become senator.
Oh, I know the crowds he runs with. He's getting elected.
And anyway, so and again, kind of paralleling some Daredevil stuff, perhaps like kind of our Kingpin's cabal we have in there. Like I assume he has some businesses associated with construction, perhaps, because she mentions the deal here is that I can get you all the freeway contracts for basically for some loyal and discreet manpower to move some equipment, no guns, just. But then he mentioned, well, I need a little bit more than money. A little more than money and favors. I need another favor, essentially. Says, I need my name and my associates' names out of the newspapers. And Chadwick's not sure about it, but then again, Manfredi here, he's on point. This is a fantastic mobster. He just takes a moment here, kind of pulls a Pesci. Just takes a moment, he invites a guy over. And this is a classic mob tactics in case guys trying to undermine you, pretty much just for no apparent reason, just kind of like it's a shame when one of your guys has to suffer through this, but it happens.
Oh, you pull a Gus Fring. I mean, that was a classic example of something like this.
Bullseye, but he pulls the guy over. One of his hench guys says, "Yes, you come over here." Says, "Look at my guest here, Miss Whitney Frost. She look pretty." He says, "Oh yeah, she looks pretty. She looks real nice." And then he basically asks if she's attractive. He says yes, and then so intensely out of nowhere. And I love the way she's shot, like so shot, like so.
You
like
think
out
that
of
Heisenberg doesn't know who he's working for? You think he's stupid?
You said Gus Fring. You meant Tuco, didn't you?
No, I actually meant both of them.
Oh.
Because, I mean, with Tuco, the example is the whole box cutter thing. Or with Gus Fring, the example is the box cutter.
Tuco with the box cutter.
Oh, dear. Hey, Walter, I got this box cutter here. I'm going to stab you with it, yo.
All right.
Did I ever tell you that, like, Tuco has, like, a vaguely Christopher Walken-esque enunciation?
No.
Yeah, I think he does a little bit. Anyways.
Anyway, back to this.
It's blue.
Okay, back to this. So, point is, a guy walks over, and basically, I love the way she's shot because, like, he's right up close to the screen. It's like, what show are we in right now? He's intensely punching this poor guy, like, bam, bam. Again, he's really strong. He's really angry. He's just yelling. I love these yelling manners at this guy. Essentially, you think I don't know that? Yeah, I'm sorry. You think I don't see that? You undressing her with your eye. You undressing my guest with your eyes. He beats him senseless. And here's what's so intimidating. But he does this in public. He doesn't clear out the restaurant in full view of as regular patrons of this place. He's just yelling at the top of his lungs and beating this poor guy.
And then
That's not how you treat a lady.
And then without a beat, he just snaps back. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that. He was being very inappropriate."
And I love his like the little crack of the knuckles too. Like I fell in love with this guy so much. I love that. I hope he makes it this season. Sorry, he was being very impolite. And basically, and then Calvin Joe instantly says, "Okay, we have a deal. We're good."
All right.
Okay, and then our guys, our heroes, are mapping out a plan for the bomb heist.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to get past the guards and the electrified fence. You're just kind of going through kind of the key points we're going to be seeing later. Speaking of key points, they have to use the key to get into the elevator following that. Seuss is working on bomb defusal as they're just kind of practicing. We're on a little practice run, just trying to how you're going to operate the uranium rods and pack them away safely without blowing everyone Kingdom Come. Wilkes says, he's very sensitive uranium rods. Be careful. And then Seuss then drops the practice rod, and you've destroyed all of them.
Good job.
You've destroyed all of LA.
Mm-hmm.
And Seuss is not crazy by going in blind and unarmed.
Yeah.
And outmanned, severely outmanned, as they can just assume. And they can't risk the SSR going. Let's just say there's going to be definitely a big fixture of the next couple episodes where the SSR really can't be trusted because of Vernon Masters.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
I'll say that much about it. Point is, they really can't risk the SSR. The SSR because they have connections to the council, and the council has hands in everything, so they can't really trust anyone else. So basically, that's not entirely true, as Peggy points out. They go to Rose.
Hmm.
And Rose, Seuss's little, I love we just cut to the exterior of the SSR building just so we can see like Rose is dealing with like this one-man band guy. Dealing with like this one-man band guy, and just they're having a conversation about Rose saying, "Look, Peg, she has no field experience, and I'll worry about her too much." Again, he's making some valid points, and I love this. Again, he's like taking the dually perspective. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking the dually perspective.
Dually?
He's taking the Chief Dually perspective there, which is really neat. That it's like he doesn't. It's not necessarily that he just is like womanizing her, like saying we can't put a woman in the field, or at least someone who's not experienced in the field. It's literally just the practicality of that. Well, no, we can't have someone. I'll worry about them. I can't have someone get killed on my watch. You can just be the competent leader.
Sure.
But anyway, so then she points out, well, look, no, I see you standing here in front of me, but you sound like Jack Thompson. But again, Susan's making some valid points, though. But then she also points out, look, I trust Rose with my life. We can trust her. Mm-hmm. And then we see her take out the one-man band, just give a little wave, like, hi. And then I love Sousa waving back, too. So Sousa waving back is like so funny. Meanwhile, they're looking through Samberly's lab, looking for some gadgets. He kind of bums some gadgets off. But Samberly is not crazy about it at all when he comes back. Oh, you guys are rooting through my toys and everything.
Just because you brought me pie doesn't mean you can rifle through my work.
And then Rose works her charms, because remember, they set this up that Samberly has a soft spot for Rose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
that pie was you? Your pie was in me? I like pie.
I just love the
pie. Good.
The I like pie. The point is, Rose sweet talks him and says, we could use your equipment. We need your Aloe. I love she uses the first name too. It's like she knows this guy. Yeah, she's that smart. She's that smart about things. Aloish. We need your equipment.
Hey, BlueDragonFive, I'm so sorry to do this, but ask me how the pie is.
It took you this long to pull that.
I know. Go ahead.
Tiki, how's the pie?
It's so good.
I just want you to know, whenever you make that pie, Rose, you know what pie reference I think of?
What?
I think of the Bugs Life pie reference. Give him the pie!
Oh, God.
Baby wants pie! Should I give it to him? Give him the pie! Okay. So let's see. So after the sweet talk about the pie, he mentions that most of these are mostly prototypes. You're gonna need me to explain them to it. And they realize they take 6 hours to properly explain how to use these things. Says, okay, look, you guys are gonna need me to come along. They all don't want that, but then this bit I thought was really nice for Samberly. He makes a point here of saying, look, after the war, I had 11 job offers, and I was told that by the SSR. Like, you could use my expertise in the field. And then who told you that? And then he says, by you, Chief Sousa. And that gag there, just showing you that Sousa doesn't want to be the bad guy. And he feels genuinely bad. The part of him does feel bad about it, kind of not showing Samberly some respect. Right. It's not that he just like he says, I should show this guy respect. It's like, no, I feel bad because personally, I made this guy feel like crap.
You don't remember saying that? That hurts me, Sousa. Right.
Yeah, that bit just hits me of like, oh my God, poor Sousa. It's like, he didn't mean it, but it's just coming across that way. Just that really hurts me. And he says, okay, you picked me. Remember that. And he says, fine, you're in. Just he had a whole speech in mind. Okay, I'll grab my bag of toys. And this line kind of made me. I wasn't crazy about this line because I felt it's a little necessary. It's like, it says, well, how do you know we can trust him? Well, everybody hates Samberly.
Yeah, that was very unnecessary.
That was a little mean. Like, I don't hate Samberly. I mean, there's a bit I'm not crazy about later on. But, I mean, that doesn't mean I hate the guy. I like Samberly. I love the idea of the lad tag. It's like, no one uses me.
Okay, we get like a slow-mo shot of them crossing the street. Am I crazy, or did this call to mind the whole Abbey Road Beatles cover?
I don't
only for a minute.
I think the Better Call Saul poster is that, Tiki, but I don't think this is.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just saying this is like kind of like a really awesome. By the way, I just love this bit too. By the way, I love the kind of.
It kind of reminded me of Reservoir Dogs as well.
Yes, it's very Reservoir Dogs-esque. That
again, 2 shows I did the Reservoir Dogs thing.
I just love the lay that pistol down lineup shot. It's like, it's a really catchy old song, and it's just showing like our lead characters going there, but it's also kind of a bit of a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque kind of like the non-conventional like kind of lineup shot.
Right.
It's like Rocket Raccoon's pulling down the riding up pants, like Gamora's yawning and all that stuff. It's like here, it's like we have Jarvis like brushing some lint off, and Rose is putting on her gloves, and Samberly's tripping, and Rose is helping him up. And we have funny gags like that. Then, of course, by the end of it, they realize, well, where's the cars? And Jarvis realizes, what does Jarvis say, Tiki?
Oh dear, I parked it across the street.
He just runs off, kind of ruining the whole awesome. Back in a jiffy.
That was a well done bit.
Back in a jiffy, is just great. And meanwhile, okay, let's see. So then they're in the van. There's I just love kind of our gloom and doom setting here. Just this funny. This is very Abbott Costello, and I love this. So not an Abbott Costello, it's like old school comedy. It's the 3 of them in a van. Peggy in the middle, being the optimistic voice, with Jarvis and Sousa on very similar mindset. This is a bad plan. This is a horrible plan. It's a solid plan. Samberly and Rose. So this is like
I have like 10% of a plan.
12.
12% of a plan.
It's very important, Tiki. Don't forget that.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, So what was this? But now we're in the middle of the heist. The whole thing going off here, folks. So we're at dead of night. Things are going on now. So they're at the first step of this plan is Samberly and Rose are approaching the guards at the gate for directions. Under the guise of directions, they can take them out. And basically, again, no one goes over the plan with Samberly. Apparently, they don't mention that he's her husband.
Right.
But again, it's like the only gripe I have with it. They could be like a little nicer, a little more informative to Samberly. That's why he's surprised with the husband thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's blowing it. I love I'll accept the first time he's just saying husband, but then he calls back to a little too much. I'm thinking that's a little much.
That's us, married, very much in love with each other.
And again, he does like Rose. It just cheapens the thing because Rose obviously doesn't like him after that point. He's making it's kind of sad.
Right.
Okay, anyway, so let's see. So then we have just these periodic cuts to the van, which are very funny. Mm-hmm. We're gonna die, just like basically all. Okay, we're doomed. We're gonna die. We're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. Okay, as they're blowing it, this bit cracked me up because you know me, I love my pleasantries. Mm-hmm. I just love Samberly making the funny observation. This is where he won some points back. They were just saying, "How about a please?" Because they're just telling him to get lost. He says, "How about a please, huh?"
Please.
The runner of please and pleasantries in all our shows is astounding, by the way.
It is.
And I don't want you talking.
And lunch. Don't forget about lunch.
Of course, lunch is imperative, Tiki. Lunch is the most important meal of the day, according to Harvey Bullock. Point is, he just makes the please observation of don't talk to my wife. I don't like you talking to my wife like that. Yeah, I love him sticking up for Rose though. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so then they're scurrying off. Dear, maybe we should go. And as he goes, they toss the device overwards, which over the fence, which basically electrifies the guards, knocks them out. Right. Really cool looking, by the way. Let's see. So, I'm trying to think.
Well, the catch is that now the gates are unlocked for Frost as well.
So
they have to move fast.
Well, that's later.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's when they act. Let's see.
My bad.
Oh, or Peggy in the band, the other two guys, Susan and Jarvis, they said, "Oh, it worked. Never doubted for a moment." Mm-hmm. Okay, they notice the nice shoes and watches on the guards, which of course these are Whitney Frost's men, her Manfredi hired men.
Polynesian leather, top notch.
Yep. Yeah. Well, these aren't. I don't remember being able to afford this on a guard's salary or a scientist, says Samberly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the knocked out. They hit the elevator, use the key, they get down there, and they realize a knocked out, potentially dead guard falls on them and says, "Okay, Frost is here." So then they realize there's a whole lot of doors, and then they go to this control panel. Samberly checks out the security system, and he unlocks it. But unfortunately, he unlocks all the doors, so now the time crunch is on.
As I said, yes.
Yes. Okay, so they realize, there's this Susie using some kind of good rudimentary detective work here. He's just saying, okay, well, these double thick walls might be where the bombs are held. Mm-hmm. They head there while Rose takes on a henchman. Susie's very concerned, but Peggy's vouching for her.
The guy just takes off and takes out a knife, and Rose is just, "Oh, I've seen bigger."
Yep, it kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad towards the last episode, but I'm not reference that further. So let's see, Jarvis IDs the. Let's see, sure. Oh, there, he IDs the bomb. He's very scared. He's getting things set up in there as they've happened to find the bomb. Samberly accidentally, as he opened the door, trying to open another door, he locks Jarvis in. Now let's recap for a moment, folks. Sousa knows how to defuse the bomb. He's been in combat. He knows how to defuse bombs, and even though he dropped the thing, he's the most qualified person to do that. Let's make that clear.
You know who we would really need in a time like this?
Deadpool.
No, the fucking blandest shit Aaron Taylor Johnson character from Godzilla. Oh, hey, I have one motivation in the whole plot, and that's I defuse bombs. Watch me serve my character function.
Well, he can't do that for other reasons. One, because he hasn't been born yet in the Marvel Universe. I think that's the main reason.
Bryan Cranston probably hasn't even been born yet in the Marvel Universe.
Well, not in the Marvel Universe. In the X-Men universe, who knows?
All right, anyways.
Anyway, back to this. So hilariously in this, really, oh no, Jarvis is locked inside the room, and he has the bomb defusal tools and everything. And basically, they realize, Peggy realizes, okay, Sousa, Daniel, you have to talk Jarvis through the bomb while I take care of the guards, and then but I take care of our company. You have to walk them through how to defuse the bombs, not defuse the, well, yeah, it's transport the bombs, I guess, because they're not really being activated. How to, well, it's it's I'm sorry, it's a defusal. I don't want to get
Yeah, it is a defusal. Yeah.
So Jarvis, understandably, and as any of us would be in the situation, is very nervous. Meanwhile, Peggy is fighting off some guards really awesomely. We know how good she is. We don't go over the very intricate detail of that one. Meanwhile, we have this really hilarious screw gag where Jarvis is like just basically opening the casing before he has to defuse the bomb, and basically the screw drops, and he's like, ah! Again, I think we'd all be like this in the situation. Just Sousa point out, no, Jarvis, the explosive thing's on the inside. The screws aren't the dangerous part.
Oh, I did actually know that.
So put your gloves on and just it's like think of it like taking a souffle out of the oven.
Oh,
Jarvis gives him this look of like,
that's such a terrible analogy.
Jarvis gives him this look that just could kill. Like, really? This is your advice? And then like Sousa has this great. Again, I love the Sousa Jarvis comedy. When these two are paired up, it's pretty funny. I just said Sousa going probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. So no luck from Samberly on getting the door open. And he says, well, Samberly, how are you on that door? He says, oh, my father was right. I'm not cut out for this.
Oh,
Rose gives
really hard on him. That's probably how I would be if I was in a situation like that and I messed that up.
Rose, however, gives him a pep talk, which is nice and starting to get him through. He says, "How about another try?" I love it. She's very supportive, though. Jarvis is holding the rod, the uranium rod, which essentially is our bomb, and they got one down finally. So he's putting it in there. I just love that Sousa saying one down. And it's like Jarvis then realizes, "Oh no, another one! Oh god!" He says, "Now we have to get the other rod." Oh god. And meanwhile, we have this hilarious line, I thought. Then we cut back to Samberly, how are you on that door? He says, how are you doing on that getting us all blown up? Fair enough. I just love the tension. I love Samberly snapping at Sousa and Sousa taking it.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Peggy pursues the bickering Frost and Chadwick, who are again like any married couple, they're bickering like children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like Chadwick says, I want to go home. I gotta get in trouble. No, don't just take it.
Pretty
no,
much.
We're here to do the stuff.
Actually, you know what, BlueDragonFive? I actually think that's kind of part of the Frost and Chadwick dynamic is just the fact that Frost at this point, there's no passion behind their marriage, but I think she feels protective of him.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Exactly. So I'm getting that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, actually, it is that kind of that friendship. You're looking at it as kids, like she's still a little Agnes Frost, and he's just kind of a little chubby kid who wants to be senator.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, it's like, oh, but Agnes, it's lunch.
I want to write a song about his life. Shut up, Mankin.
Look, I can't think about that right now.
Nope, can't do it.
Okay, anyway, so as Peggy's pursuing the bickering couple, Sousa instructs Rose to. I think this is a good bit. Sousa entrusting Rose with some stuff, just showing you I do trust you, Rose. Saying, okay, look, your job is very, very important. Just get after the bombs are stored away. Just get Jarvis and Samberly and the bombs out of here. It's very important.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Peggy confronts those two, confronts our villains, and I love Whitney Frost here. Again, I love the interaction between her and Peggy. She's very impressed. Like, wow, like yeah. You found her way here, so she's very impressed. And this tells Calvin to shut up. Like, shut up, guys. He's just trying to think of a rationale. Oh, Miss Carter, let me explain. Just shut up, Calvin.
Oh, God.
And again, this Frost feels very powerful. She doesn't want to be fixed, as Peggy Carr is smartly offering her. Well, look, we can help you. We can fix you. You know, Chadwick's saying, well, you can fix her? Oh, man, that's great. Much to Chadwick's dismay, she does not want to be fixed. And she's gotten stronger, as we can tell, not just in her absorption abilities, but she's gotten stronger in terms of, like, she feels less pain and she's stronger physically. Mm-hmm. Samberly finally gets the door. Jarvis is very shaken. He says, just for the record, there's nothing like baking a souffle. Meanwhile, Sousa goes to back Peg up, and Rose is kind of ushering them out of there. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the little radio goes off pretty much saying, Peggy, I'm on my way. We got the bombs out here. And then Frost hears the news, and she's not happy at all about this. And then basically Peggy offers her like one last chance. Last chance, Miss Frost. Same to you, Agent Carter. I love the respect. You know what that kind of reminds me of in a way? In some way, it's kind of like it's kind of the first interaction between Cap and the Red Skull. You know, they have that kind of that little bit of respect for each other. Like, you know, they respect the reputation each has acquired.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
You know, vaguely. I'm not saying it's the same thing. It kind of reminds me of that kind of that catwalk scene between the two of them in First Avenger.
Sure.
Anyway, like last chance. Same to you, Miss Carter. And there's that little grudging respect. Then they get into a battle before she starts to absorb Peggy. As she starts to absorb Peggy Carter, which is very painful, by the way, just in case you're curious. Peggy smartly headbutts her, but then she kind of falls back, and she's like hanging by a little thread, essentially. Not by a thread, but hanging by the edge of the walkway. Not everyone's cut out for Hollywood.
Oh boy.
Now here's my question to you. Tell me when you saw this, because I couldn't make it out every time I rewind. Did Peggy let go so she would avoid being absorbed, or did she, or Whitney Frost like push her?
I caught it that Frost pushed her.
No, I think Frost would.
Masa style.
I don't know. I think Frost would take the opportunity to absorb her. It looks like Peg's letting go every time I rewind it. But it's hard.
You could be right.
It's really hard to tell. I encourage people to go back and rewind that part. See what your take on that is. Let us know. So, okay, anyway, so she falls and she lands, surprisingly, and for a moment you think she's safe, and then the realization is very saddening.
Yeah.
Peg has fallen, and she's landed on a rebarb, which is not good. It's because it's impaled her on her left side, which is
essentially, yeah.
Yep, and I love this. This bit is great, though. There's this hesitation on Frost of like, oh no, I wanted to have more fun with her.
You know what it's kind of vaguely like? It's kind of almost Joker-esque.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's just that hesitation. You know, I think it genuinely, here's what I think it kind of communicates. I think it communicates that the only person that can relate to me is most likely going to bite it. I'm a little bored with the world right now. It's like there's that little moment that passed, like my only countermeasure. They're very Joker-esque, you're right.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
Yeah, you know, it's just that little moment of hesitation before she runs of like, well, now the fun's over.
Right.
Meanwhile, Sousa panics as he sees this unfold. Peggy, no! He rushes over the Peg, and then we cut to our next scene, which is them rushing Peg to Violet's place so they can patch her up without risking, a hospital, going to a hospital and that alerting the council so she'd be executed, kind of Godfather style. Thankfully, that didn't happen.
Forced conflict.
Wait for it. Just wait for it. We'll get to the forced conflict after she saves her life, all right?
I'm sorry.
Don't jump ahead. So that's basically, they rush Peg to Violet's place. Violet barely, she helps him out. She gives out tasks to everyone. You get the linens, get hot water. Notices Seuss's care for Peggy, and also tells her this is really going to hurt as she pours I guess kind of a sterilization liquid on her.
I just think it was some kind of alcohol or something.
Yeah, something like that. Something to kind of get the infection in there just in case.
And we barely see Peggy in pain, but oh my God, Haley Atwell delivers a pretty realistic scream here.
Oh yeah, really haunting too.
Oh.
Okay, let's see. So it's really going to hurt. Meanwhile, we got Chad. We're back with Chadwick and Frost here. And basically, after a plan that's been foiled here, Frost is really not happy and saying, look, just convince Hugh Jones to give us an extra bomb or make a new one. Mm-hmm. And Chadwick puts his foot down because this is insane. We tried to steal 2 bombs and all this stuff's going on. And I'm indebted to, basically points out, he's putting his foot down, making some very valid points, by the way, saying the situation, he's tired of being involved in situations that could make him dead.
Right.
He's indebted to a crime lord, which he's not happy about, which I would be either, seeing a crime lord so willing to beat his own guys up like that. And
I'm sorry, he was being very disrespectful.
Yes, and he's at the mercy. He's at the mercy of the council, which which does not have mercy in its heart, really.
Oh.
And then you can see Whitney Frost again trying to kind of work with this partnership out here. She's trying to calm him down. Again, Kelvin said he's not going to raise a hand to her, obviously seeing what she can do, and he wouldn't do it. I guess since he wouldn't do that anyway, though, because he has that respect and love for her deep down.
Sure.
But still, he's just trying. He's shouting, making some very valid points, and getting a little closer to her, but not threateningly. And then she just kind of he basically grabs him, like throws him up against the bookshelf, and threatens him by saying, "You need to watch your tone."
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And you can see she definitely holds the power here, which scares Chadwick very much.
Of course, of course.
Meanwhile, Sousa's off the phone and confirming to Peg that the uranium is secure in the lab, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The lab, Peggy's very weak from all the stuff that's going on, understandably. Getting a rebarb right through her side, very uncomfortable. Violet, okay, now we're getting closer to it. Just wait one bit. We're almost there. Violet observes the chemistry that's still going on between Sousa and Peg, which they always have, which we always has been building. Sorry, I was trying to think here. Violet points out, luckily the rebarb avoid any vital organs, which is good, and she tells her to rest and gives her the medical instructions. She tells her, okay, well, look, you should be resting. Jarvis takes her home, is helping her up, which is very painful, I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we get to the moment.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And you see, BlueDragonFive, the problem I have with this is that you've been like hyping up like, oh, this is a very unconventional, likable love triangle, and I'm like, this is literally the cheapest drama they could possibly.
Well, bear in mind, when I said love triangle, I primarily meant between Wilkes, Carter, and Sousa. I kind of forgot. I keep forgetting about Violet in the love triangles. That's my only thing I can say on that. But I mean, I still thought they were going to handle the Violet thing a lot better.
Because, like I said, my whole problem with this, I would have absolutely no problem with this setup if it was just like Violet, let's say, kind of surprising Sousa with lunch. Jim, it's lunch, at the office. And then Sousa and Peggy are kind of having a chummy moment with each other, But the fact is, Peggy almost died. And Violet knows that Peggy and him have, a good working relationship. He cares about Peggy. So, of course, he's going to be like, it bothers me, BlueDragonFive, because essentially, what Violet is saying is that, like, you care too much about if Peggy lives or dies. I mean, I know I'm oversimplifying it, but go ahead, jump in.
I mean, look, I just have 2 bits to point out with that. Just to be fair, to be completely diplomatic. I mean, one, you're right that the timing is very poor. The timing is really poor.
Incredibly poor.
But that's the thing. I think it's an issue of timing over what the whole thing is. That it's timed poorly because it reads that way. The way you're reading it right now, that's why surfacely, that's why it's bad. I mean, she is making a valid point though that well, you didn't tell me, because she didn't know that they were really close to being an item in there. He just thought it was like an old friend from the SSR. That's all she thought. She didn't know how close he was. I mean, he doesn't really talk about Peggy Carter that much.
Okay.
He's probably mentioned her. Oh yeah, I used to work at Peggy Carter, and I'm working with her now. But he didn't mention how close they were, and she can pick up the pieces of like, man, you really do care for her. I mean, you can see in the eyes of like how really distraught he is over her. Because remember, she calls
like I said again, she's fucking dying. So even if it is just a casual coworker, I'd have some concern there.
Yes, but I'm saying that she can tell. Like, remember, she tells him, Daniel, get the linens. You think like he'd be on the money of like, okay, I'm gonna get the linens real quick so I can save my friend here. But it takes like 3 tries. Daniel, get the linens. Daniel, get the linens.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That was okay.
I'm saying is there's a bit of that, but primarily what she's bringing up is that we're about to share our lives together. You didn't tell me that a big reason you left. You left New York was to get away from this woman.
Right.
I mean, that's an important detail, and then she comes back and she can tell maybe there's still some unresolved feelings. That's what she's getting at, and they could have communicated that a smidge better. I'll give you that. They definitely, again, if they just spaced out the time, it would have been a lot better. But again, it was towards the end of the episode. I guess they ran out of time to do that.
I guess so. Anyways,
maybe that's what's going on there. But again, aside from the poorly timed, it kind of makes sense that eventually I at least want to see Peggy and Sousa get together at some point. So this has to break down at some point. It's sad. It's right after the engagement, though. That's what's really sad about it, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what's going on here next.
Chadwick with Frost.
Right. Before that, though, there's a big question looming that kind of takes us into kind of some other stuff. I mean, it doesn't directly pick up after this, but after the whole, like, you ran away from me, you didn't tell me that. Are you still in love with her? And then there's a hesitation on Daniel's part. So there is definitely hesitation of he doesn't quite know the answer to that.
Sure.
Okay, then we cut to Chadwick calling a secret meeting with the council.
Mm-hmm.
which basically it seems like he's conspiring against Whitney Frost, which we know will not go well.
It won't go well, but you can't blame the guy at this point.
You can't.
He's
I mean,
into a corner.
Again, he's not trying to like, I want to take her down. It's like, no, I want to keep my skin.
Exactly.
Again, there's this really funny bit where the Jarvis is like tucking Peggy in the bed and like putting all these blankets over her. No, it's kind of hard to breathe with all these blankets on.
Oh God.
You know, I disarmed 2 bombs today.
Mm-hmm.
I know you. Well, you disarmed a bomb today. 2. I disarmed 2 bombs today. He says, "Yeah, you should get some rest." And then Jarvis has a really profound line. He has a really good line. He says, Miss Carter, just because Jarvis' whole shtick this season has been that he loves getting back in the adventures. He loves those old times that he first was really hesitant for. Now he's all for like, I want to live the thrill life again. But this is a really poignant line though. Like as much as he's jazzed as in mind to be part of the action, he was like really in the thick of action though. Problem was, it was really life or death states, and he was just pointing out here that, Miss Carter, these adventures are only enjoyable if you can return from them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very poignant line from Jarvis, really good line. Which, on some level, I think maybe kind of reminds her of Steve Rogers. That's just me reading into it. I'm saying, I think on some level, it kind of reminds her of Steve Rogers.
I can see that.
Not something that he would say, I'm just saying it kind of reminds her, like, that's an adventure.
Of the whole situation.
Just like, well, not the whole situation. I'm saying more like, adventures you can't return from.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. The whole situation with Steve and the ice and everything. Yeah.
But it's not too poignant. I mean, it's not too in your face about it. So it's up to interpretation. Meanwhile, Peggy and Wilkes, they have a bit here. So the zero matter. Wilkes points out the zero matter comes from a place of a dark and painful place. And and she asks, "How do you know that?" Oh, that's a story for another time. The radio. The radio plays their song, I want to be loved, which is the song they were dancing to in that club.
Mm-hmm.
Then Wilkes dramatically disappears.
And that's the cliffhanger.
Yep.
All right. And we don't have to get into spec because there's already 2 episodes after this out. So,
yeah.
I mean, if you want, we can have some fun and I can speculate on some stuff. No, that would be pointless.
I mean, basically, a game of hot and cold.
Exactly.
Iron Man.
So I hear they're recruiting Donnie. I hear that's the thing that's coming up.
You're warmer.
All right. So
Iron Man's going to show up. You're colder.
Iron Man is in like Tony Stark Iron Man via time travel.
Yes, you're colder.
Okay. So final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Again, I think it does have some redeeming. Has some good scenes. Has some redeeming stuff. It's not as redeeming as I like it to be. It's there and it's solid. Point A to point B plot stuff. It has some good bits in there, but it's you can watch it without kind of breaking your Agent Carter buzz. But it's not as good as the other ones though.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was very hard on this, kind of coming into it, talking it over. It's not quite as bad as I was making it out to be. There's, the strengths of this show are still all there. There's some really good Jarvis stuff in there, but...
And look, let me highlight something real quick. I just want to highlight, this season's going to be very caper-heavy towards our next couple episodes.
Okay.
So, and it's a good thing, though, because capers are awesome. And, again, the idea of this caper was pretty fun.
Especially when they involve Muppets.
Absolutely, but you see what I mean. Look at Ant-Man. Ant-Man was kind of like it was awesome. This caper kind of got a bit of that in this, which was fun. Which was a fun element of this episode. And we're going to get a little more intricate versions of that in the next couple episodes, and those are going to be fun.
So really, it was just kind of an in-between episode. I mean, it wasn't anything too offensive. I just didn't find anything in it particularly that memorable.
Yeah, nothing really stand out except for the fact it was a heist and we got the awesome kind of the memory inhibitor scene.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely the highlight of the whole episode. That and then Jarvis disarming the bomb. I think those were the 2 big takeaways.
You're right.
All right. No, not too much. So, okay, I guess we are done then. So we are sealing up the box once again. Until next time, when we continue assessing Agent Carter.
Tune in next time, fellow patriots and spies alike, as we continue the further adventures of Agent Carter.
I will have you know, Mr. Sousa, that it is nothing like taking out a souffle